Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. A midweek, all the gear, no idea. Obviously I didn't make one on Sunday. It was my birthday. And I didn't have time. Very busy weekend. Obviously went to the game on Saturday. And then Sunday obviously was birthday celebration. So I wasn't able to make all the gear, no idea. It's not going to be exactly the same format as what I usually do on a Sunday because obviously there is some news, so it's not as unplanned as it would be usually. Obviously, the big news coming out of the club the last sort of half an hour or so is Tomas Soucek, I'm going to pronounce it as, has officially signed now. 4 million loan deal apparently, and will be sort of, if we stay up, we will have to buy him for 18 million. Did have all this research done for the podcast tomorrow, really. I was going to save it for then. I'm sure me and Paul will talk about it in the podcast tomorrow, but we'll go over some little bits now on some of the research I've done on the guy, because obviously what I was going to talk about was if we didn't sign him and what we could have got. So for any people that are interested, obviously Tomas Soucek, his birthday is February 27th, 1995, so coming up very, very soon. So he's 24, going to be 25 in a couple of weeks' time. He's right-footed. If we look at the main positions here, so he can cover defensive midfield, central midfield, and centre-back. So definitely, sort of player we've been needing, someone to, play alongside Rice to take the pressure off Noble and maybe even free up Rice to go a little bit further up build maybe, or vice versa. They can switch, so one can stay back, one can go forward. So this will definitely give us some different ideas for Moyes to play with at least. Some of the things this website lists is he's a similar player to Nemanja Matic. So if he's anywhere as good as what Matic was at Chelsea, we're getting ourselves an half decent little player here. This website it's basically a scouting website that scouts every single player in the world and sort of as a sort of little depth for them. So his strengths are passing, and if you've seen any of the videos, I'm sure you have. I know we can all look on YouTube. I can look like Erlo on YouTube. So his passing is very good. He's tactically very intelligent. Goal, so he gets goals. Apparently pace and powerful, so he might be quite quick on the ball. Sometimes can be misleading off the ball, but actually how you carry the ball, you can be quite quick. Like, you wouldn't say Arnautovic was exceptionally quick player, but on the ball, he could look quite quick. Same as like Payet, actually on the ball, he did look quite quick, and obviously bravery there and very strong stamina. Before I go into the comments, just the last little thing here. So the way they sum him up basically is a modern defensive half, camping centre, box to box. It's a strong point. His strong point is his resistance, and involve the entire midfield centre controlled defensive intent mind. Possesses a large ball still. So again, the language of this is a bit, I think it's been translated into English. He's a great interceptor when reading the plays well. Also is a player with a lot of goals in defensive, as it brings much to the attack from the second line. Likes to have the ball and he's not afraid to lose it. Has great strength and is a fearless player. Offensive contribution is brilliant. You have visions of the games and the goals. So yeah, we might be getting ourselves a half decent little player here. I think there was a little comment. No, I didn't put that one. And there was a comment on one that continued and said he ideal for a club is sort of a middle level club in the European league. So a West Ham would be an ideal, and he could be a player in those leagues. This is what this scouting report read. This is not me trying to act like I'm some sort of expert. Let's go into the chat. Afternoon, Mitchell. Greetings, Lord Bacon. Great name. Afternoon from Australia. Afternoon, Neil. Happy birthday. Thanks a lot. Yep, 35 on Sunday. Where from, Neil? My grandson is from Adelaide, 313, and Neil also wishes me a happy birthday. Thank you, guys. So yeah, so that's one signing done. Loads and loads of news. Obviously from X, if anyone listened to their podcast, which I'm sure you all do, because it's probably the main sort of source of West Ham news. There's the Piatek rumours, striker from AC Milan. That sort of was picking up a bit of pace in terms of, I think it was something like, again, a loan deal with a 30 million buyout. There's the Ross Barkley one, which I'd be very excited if we were to pull that off. He's a very good player. And as most, West Ham fan channels are saying, he's got a shot on him. Very attack-minded. A good pass. He'll be thinking about getting in Euros. He'll have a point to prove. He'll want to prove Frank wrong if he was to come. So yeah, another very exciting one. And obviously I think there was a couple of left backs and maybe a couple midfield. Looks like it's going to be loan to buy deals. I think that's the board trying to play it safe a little bit in terms of, if we were to go down, there's a little bit of get out for us, so we don't have to pay like 40 million and then go down and try to get rid of them for less money and lose out. So it's not my money. If it was my money, I wouldn't care. I would just keep buying players until we got our way out of the trouble. But yeah, they're not us, and let's just be thankful that we've signed a bloody player. If we lose by 4 goals, we're in the bottom 3. Listen, I was joking in work with a Liverpool fan today about the game tonight. I said 3-0 loss would be a good result, and I think that just proves my point even more, because a 4-0 result would be in the bottom 3. A 3-0 we'll just miss out. Wouldn't it just be us, though, if we were to get a win tonight? Wouldn't it just be typical West Ham to go and beat them tonight? It would be typical us. I don't think we will. I think it's going to be an absolute massacre. I think it's going to be one of those games that we could potentially keep them quiet for 20 minutes, and then they'll have a 20-minute spell where it's just boom, 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 2-3 goals, and then it's game over. Only thing with Klopp, like Leicester, I feared that they would, well, they did this quite heavily, but I feared that they would, go and do 4, 5s and 6 passes, which it could have easily been. Klopp, it seems, when it gets to sort of that 3-4-0 mark, Klopp will go, right, come, let's relax now. Management now, just play the game out, and they don't have that ruthless 20 minutes, and then they sort of, they relax a bit. Then it's not that they don't try and absolutely humiliate teams, because they can do that in 20 minutes. As a connoisseur of football stats, Tomas Soucek in the current Czech squad looks like Hendon Germ. Yeah, I was saying, any of them sort of nations, them Eastern European nations, the Croatians, the Czechs, the Slovakians, Slovenians. From my experience, West Ham players have been fantastic. They're always quite hard. They play well. They like a good tackle. You only look at Thomas Repka, maybe not best technically of a defender, but my God, was he hard? You know what I mean? He was good. He was Czech, weren't he? And again, around that Eastern European area, Stimac was outstanding defender. I know he was Croatian, but again, another outstanding player from that sort of thing. And what also in Slavia Prague, I don't imagine he's on a lot of money. I know we're only loaning him a moment, so he may come over with ease. I reckon in that league you might be on 20 grand a week as a good sort of value. So he's coming knowing if he gives it his all, he's probably going to get himself a 50, 60 grand a week contract at West Ham. I expect good things from him. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater. I expect, he will give it 110%. Just offer something a little bit different. I'm hoping that's the case. Evening, Luke. Thanks, Chris. And Tomas Soucek. So apparently my pronunciation is right. So, yeah, looking at tonight, guys, it's going to be tough. Whatever happens, it's going to be hugely tough game tonight. there are rumours, you know, that Fabianski may have a late fitness test. That may give me a little bit more in terms of positivity with the in terms of maybe we could hold them and stop them. Yeah, it's got to be tough. Oh, yeah, Gary, that is a brilliant point. So, yeah, best fan experience. I don't know whether you guys see this on Twitter. So, was it TalkSport? I can't remember who actually released it. Who released it? So someone released this poll that West Ham's match day experience is the best one in the Premier League. And again, it just screams of club spin that they've released this as like we're doing our thing, right? All the fans are saying that we're doing the right thing. That was a really poor impression of David Sullivan there. But yeah, no, not for me. I've not enjoyed going over there once. I've enjoyed results over there, but I've not enjoyed the actual experience, the getting out of the stadium, especially that first year, getting in the stadium. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I really don't. Chris says, just spoken to a colleague who lives in Austria. There are Red Bull, West Ham rumours starting up over there. God, please let us get taken over. Do you know what I mean? How heartbreaking is it going to be if we Newcastle get taken over? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. If Newcastle get taken over by these Saudis, start spending millions and millions and millions, and we end up, you know, left on the shelf again, you know, not taken over. So if Red Bull are to come in, it would be great. It would be great, mate. It would be great news for us. No, so check. Okay, right. So for Neil, for all you West Ham fans out there, it's so check. Here's one for you guys in the chat very quickly. What are your opinions on the match day announcer at West Ham? So I know this really some stuff on Twitter about this, and Anthony Lee from the channel. Some of you probably never even seen Lee on here, but he has a right bee in his bonnet about the announcer, you know, in terms of, you know, when Slaven Julian came back, there was no like what Jeremy Nicholas, who was an absolute legend. No, he would have gone, please welcome back West Ham legends Slaven Bilic and Julian Dix. And even silly thing like when Winston Reid was first back on the bench, he would have gone something like, please welcome back West Ham vice captain Winston Reid. That's what Jeremy Nicholas would have done. This guy, there's nothing there. And I don't know whether that's directly from him or whether the club has telling him can't do that, or then him not telling him to do it, basically. So just let that, give me some comments on that. Is this destroyer you were always wanting, do you think? Maybe the videos look good, don't they? But when I think destroyers, I think of I think of Kante's. Obviously, you ain't going to get a player like that. The Armies, Yatis, you know, these huge, big, you know, African guys, you know, that are just really intimidating, you know, physical, very athletic. That's the sort of player and listen, we can list off some fantastic players that are currently in the Premier League. Kiati would have done a job in that West Ham midfield. Wilfred Ndidi, I know he's French, Decore, like I say, Kante, just absolute animals. Like, they want that ball, they're going to run through you. Every team needs one of them now. I'm hoping this guy, you know, can do that job. Yeah, in terms of whether he can do that box-to-box travelling with the ball, I don't know. I think there may have been a couple of other players that might have been about, like Kessie potentially. You should be in the Nuggets, Neil. Clarence and Hugh were the ones who apparently leaked that article. Nuggets. Love the honesty about the scouting. He is a work, proper long hours. I do feel sorry for him. If Reid looking go to the MLS, do you think we should have him? Yes, 100%. I'm a big fan of Winston. I see a couple of channels talking about him, actually. Winston's a ledge. I say ledge. He's He's a great servant. He's a great servant of the club. He stayed with us when we went down. And at one point, he was good enough. When before Liverpool, went to Van Dijk's and all that. Talking the years before that, he was heavily linked with Arsenal at one point. I think Liverpool did sniff around him at one point. He was a fantastic centre half, Winston Reid. Obviously, as well, got the last ever goal at Upton Park. So there's a big place in my heart for Winston Reid, and I do like the guy a lot. And he also scored one of the goals in one of the best games of football I've ever been to, the 3-0 win at White Hart Lane. So yeah, big place in my heart, and yeah, he does deserve a testimonial. So did Ginge as well. Hello, JP. So JP, here he is. How was your birthday, Luke? Hope you had it. It was good. It was good. Apart from, as predicted on the podcast with Graham, my birthday always get ruined by we going out of the FA Cup. Absolute horror show on Saturday. Didn't do much of a review on it. I did that quick instant reaction with Lee. That was a horror show. That really was. The actual Sunday on my birthday, I want to watch my nephew play. They also had a horror show. They lost 5-0 in their league. So yeah, in terms of football, it wasn't a good weekend. Going out for a meal this weekend, actually. So yeah, so my actual birthday celebrations go on for another weekend. I say yes, Hammer. Well, Noble sounded quite defeatist. I have always said the team problems have always been down to him. He isn't strong enough. Listen, you can go back to my first ever video on this channel. I've deleted it now because I did change my mind at one point. My first ever video for this channel was 5 years ago, and it was me walking down the Greenway in Newham, if you guys know that. And I was basically listing all the players that were better at the time in the squad. Mark Noble. I was saying, like Song, very young Declan Rice at the time, Kiati, Yami. It's been going on for a while, Mark Noble. It is getting to the time where we have got to start goodbye. Listen, if we go down to the Championship next year, he'll be one of our best players. But in terms of him as a Premier League player and a Premier League starter for West Ham, we have got to start that long goodbye now. It has been a bit of a long goodbye. And I think the points he was making, although, yes, as a captain, you need to come out and be positive. I think the points he was making were quite justified. We can't keep relying on him. We can't keep, a 33-year-old or whatever he is, 32-year-old, keep going, put Mark in. He's got passion, he'll do something. It's the same with Antonio to a certain extent. Yes, Antonio, he's probably one of our most important players, but that is ridiculous. 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, this was a guy most West Ham fans were looking to get out the door, Antonio. He's technically not as good as Anderson. He's technically not as good as Yarmolenko. He's going to get nowhere near the first team. He can't play up front. He won't play right back. So, again, in terms of progression, it's true what Mark's saying. We haven't bought the right players, and the fact that we are relying on Antonio and your Nobles, again, just highlights that lack of progression for me. I don't know what you guys think. 2-0. He's been here 10 years and wish him well. Yep, obviously that's with the spot-on impression of David Sullivan. Dear. I wish I could do it. Who does it really well? Canning Town Len does it really good, doesn't he? Spot on impression. Yeah, he's been a great player for us over the years. Reed is what, 31, 32. Why are we not giving him a chance? Vardy's 32. Don't ask me, mate. I would, the way Balbuena played on Saturday, a half-fit Winston Reid can't do much worse. Balbuena was awful Saturday. Absolutely awful. Alfie Waters, hello's our sub. Thanks, Alfie, mate. Cheers for joining the family. You jinxed it. Well, I did say, JP, didn't I? I've been really good and I hadn't seen a loss for a little while. So I am due a loss. I think I did actually say that to you when I met you last time. I said I'm due a loss. And the next game was a loss. What's on the Newcastle takeover? I support them. I don't think it's true. Yeah, my mate in work, I've got two mates in work actually that are Newcastle fans. One's a proper Geordie from Newcastle, the other one's from the East End, and just had a love affair with Shearer when he was younger. Yeah, and they're not positive on it as well. They don't think it's true. They've heard a lot of this spin as well. Nice to have a Newcastle fan in. I think you're doing really well. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Bruce actually, and a lot of sympathy for him when he got the job, and I think he's done really well with what he's got, Bruce. Here, I have to say. We used to refer to the Greenway as a sewer bank. Yeah, it does have a nice smell, the old Greenway, doesn't it? Good luck to them, I say, Alfie. Like us, you've had a crap board. Who would have held us back? Yeah, true. I used to run the length of the riverbanks every day. But you must be a very fit lad, Gary. I have to say, must be of an athlete. And yes, I did say it to JP. There you go. I'll tell you what, let's have a little look in terms of what's going on in the news, whether there's anything other important. Obviously, the main thing is going to be the Soucek rumours, as Neil rightly says. But I just want to see if there's any other major stuff going on very, very quickly. So just bear with me, guys. Any opinions on the announcer, guys? I noticed no one sort of made a point of saying anything about that. Yeah, Joe Linton. Yeah, Joe Linton's bad. that seems to be quite universal in the West Newcastle fans in my work. But I've got to say, I'm a big fan of Almiron. I'm jealous that you got him ahead of us. St. Maxim is just your pace, and if he can go on and become a bit like that Adama Traore, get some actual technique and some finishing touches his game, he could be a fantastic player for you. Hayden's a good player. And obviously Jamal Lascelles is a good player as well. Turned into a bit of a Newcastle loving, but yeah, I do have a bit of appreciation. And I've always quite liked Newcastle. Actually, I'm a big fan of Alex Shearer. Shearer's an absolute beast of a player. I used to like Lauren Robert, and obviously one of your legends used to play for us, Nobby Solano. What a player he was! He was even good for us. He's another one come at 35, but he was probably one of our best players when we had him. You think we changed our badge as it has 3 Christian crosses on the castle, so dropping the castle would make us more international friendly? Maybe it's simpler, I suppose, and I think they was desperate to get London in there somewhere, because I think they thought that would maybe send a bit of a more universal message across the world. Hasn't seemed to have worked really, has it? Apart from when Chicharito was playing. I remember we used to get quite a big Mexican following. He was there. A lot of Mexicans used to watch our videos. Apart from that, yeah. I really hope, if really sold, that at least let him come on a game to say goodbye. It won't happen with our class list lot. Love them surprise me though. Yeah, I remember there was used to come out and say they don't believe in testimonials and things like that. Obviously, Mark Noble got his one, but I think Ginge deserved a little match to say goodbye. Like, he was a fantastic servant, Ginge, and obviously Reed has been one. So yeah, why not? What about Nolan in the coaching staff? Any you heard about that as well? I'd be quite happy with Kev. Again, great leader. I think he'd be one in the sort of in the mould of Sam, perhaps. But I think he'd be one for the stats and all that sort of stuff. But wouldn't mind Kevin Nolan on the coaching team. Some of the players could do with a few runs on the Greenway. Hope West Ham win tonight. I hope so too, mate. I'll tell you what, if anyone's got a spare pound in their Bet365 account and want what I call a Hollywood bet, a double, West Ham and Man United is 80-1. If you want a cheeky little Hollywood bet. And you know what that bet is? Not going to get any money back because it won't win. Yeah. How do you think we'll line up tonight? Like I say, rumours that Fabianski may do a late fitness test. Obviously, if it's not Fabianski, then obviously it will be Randolph. Zabaleta against anyone in that Liverpool team frightens me. I expect Diop and O'Connor at the back. Then Cresswell against Mohamed Salah again, terrifying. I suppose it won't be much different, really. Rice Noble. I don't know why he's not starting Fornals as well. Fornals needs to start. Antonio needs to start. He needs to start up front with Haller tonight to have any chance of winning. I think if any of you watched the Redman TV preview with West Ham Fan TV, he said if West Ham play 2 up front, that is the best chance they've got because it will give the 2 centre halves something to think about. If he goes 1 up top, listen, we may as well not even play. I just can't see us being able to hurt them. We won't have no pace, no counter attack. So yeah, we've got to play 2 up front to have any chance. And listen, it's slim enough as it is. If anyone knows anything about Soucek, I'd be surprised. Yeah, like I say, I did a little bit of a sort of research on him, did a little bit in the beginning of the video. But yeah, if anyone wants to rewind that, they can. Fabianski might be okay. I hope so, mate. That also would give me a bit of hope as well. You know, he's more likely to save some of the shots. Randolph, I'm not saying Randolph was a fault for the goal on Saturday. That was just a worldie of a shot from the player who scored against us. Some of his saves do seem a bit weak for me, but he doesn't pull out worldies. Yeah, true. Dubravka, yeah, great goalie as well. Always that argument, isn't it, between our fans actually, and who's the better goalie, Dubravka and Fabianski. There's no fake castle at the London Stadium, so the new badge is just progression, the future of West Ham. Yeah, I suppose there's truth in that as well. We need Nolan now. How can they say the witch deserves over 1 million? What has she achieved? Says it all. I don't know what she's achieved, mate. No, there's losses at the club. Apparently, again, coincidentally, that comes out when the transfer market's like 1 day go or 2 days to go. Shane Neal, as up as the fortress, it is just fortune. I want 8 defenders, 2 attackers, and shut up shop for 90 minutes. Oh dear. Can we give Paul a 1-0 now, leave the game and be better off? Take 1-0 loss. That's ridiculous though, isn't it? We need 2 goalkeepers. Remember him, JP, from the Czechs beat England in the Euros. Did he play in that game, did he? I did not know that. Right, so I'm going to share current West Ham news out there. Like I say, the main stuff is obviously Tomas Soucek stuff. I'm just seeing if there's a huge bonus. Obviously, there's more Matty Cash stuff as well. Another player that obviously we're heavily linked with. And there's this one here. Let's have a little look at this Football Fancast. I don't know how reliable this site is. It's quoted from X, so I suppose that's a little bit more reliable. So we're apparently linked with 3 strikers. So hopefully, you know, we can pull one of them off. Let's just go back into the chat very quickly. So the chat's with Palo and Jetty up front, still virtually 1 up front, 1 up top. Antonio is the only other option that improves the team. I haven't seen the lineup, so don't know if he's on the bench or not. If Antonio can play tonight, for me, he's got to play up front. He has to start, and he has to start up front. Would you rather us go down if long term the board leave? Watch Gonzo's video today about players that will leave. If, you know, the predicted players that will leave if we were to go down. It would just be absolutely heartbreaking. Some of them, you know, Rice. I know Anderson has not been the best this year, but I'd be quite gutted if Rice, Anderson was to leave as well. And, you know, and just as you start to build a little bit, I'm not saying we've built perfectly and there's been a lot of mistakes in the transfer window. It would just be an absolute disaster. It really, really would. You'd like to think if we stayed up, it would start the board to, you know, invest like another 100 million the first year that Pellegrini was there. Not saying they would be guilty and do it again. You know, they'd invest the 100 million and then a year later they would hang Moyes out to dry. Yeah, you'd like to think if we stayed up by the skin of our teeth, we may invest heavily again in the summer. Who knows, mate? But it would be an absolute disaster. UCL 10. So yeah, Soucek at 8:39. I'd rather we stayed up. They pass away soon. Going down would be a disaster, Mr. T, as we'd lose most of our company. Yeah, I think Neil's just sort of repeated basically what I said there. Hammer, true Neil. I just want them out. Don't we all? We all want them out. But listen, as fans, there's a lot of fans. Lee says it. Wouldn't mind us going down. A lot of West Ham fans, I think, have this feeling that if we go down, we'd get an identity back. We'd get rid of all the prima donnas. Perhaps like someone like Josh Cullen would be in our midfield, and we'd be building some youngsters and maybe build quite a grittier team. Like sort of what Sheffield United have got, like players that actually want it and want to be there. No, we can't go down. We can't. I think we are going to go down. I just don't want to really think about it at the moment about what our club could look like in August. First game in the Championship if we were to go down. We know what's going to happen tonight. Save Antonio for Brighton. Yep, that's a good shout, Lawrence. Very good shout. Hammers United appear to have the ear of the board. Can you see the protest moving? Yeah, there was a good thing, obviously, they put out, didn't they, that I was invited to meet the directors of the board, not Gold and Sullivan. They rejected that, which I like to see. They want to talk properly to the two top boys. So yeah, I've got to give them respect for that. That they, they've stuck their heels in and said no. We will only meet the top two. So it's good. They've definitely got the years. I think a lot depends on who we sign in the next couple of days, whether it's showing ambition, where we are in the league by the time that next protest comes up on the 29th, whether we've put a little run together. If we haven't, bad results build momentum, bad momentum as well. So, yeah, I think it all depends on what happens between now and then. Absolutely, Mr. Fong. The whole club on and off the pitch needs rebuilding. Easiest way to clear out the dead wood would be sad to see Rice go. Not many would warrant keeping. Be worse. Roberto could still be in goal tonight. Going down is a backward step. May not straight back up. Yeah, I don't think would get straight back up. I think it would be quite a struggle, to be honest with you. True, Chris, and I think West Ham have a chance if Liverpool leave full-backs high up pitch. We haven't got a counter-attack, Alfie. I don't know what West Ham games you've been watching, mate. Obviously, you're a Newcastle fan, but we ain't got a counter-attack that can hurt them. Robertson and Brent could stand on the halfway line the whole game, and we wouldn't have the quality to get in behind because we haven't got pace. We've got no pace, and we haven't got no one who can play that killer ball anymore. So, yeah, I don't think that would help. Then that would help us, to be honest with you, mate. Yeah, so yeah, looking here, there's not much else in terms of news. Like, obviously, there's loads and loads of rumours going around, but they are just rumours at the minute. I hope we announce another one for the podcast tomorrow, really, where we'll be talking about tonight's game. I think, lads, we'll leave you there. Nice quick half hour, all the gear, no idea. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm glad that I got to announce a player as well. Nice to do that. Nice to have a chat with you lot as always. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any mates that like West Ham channels, let them know about us. We will be back at 6:30 tomorrow, me and Paul, for episode 103 of Free Hammers podcast. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comments to this video, not in the live chat. It's very hard to replay the live chat, but in the comments, I'll go back to that, and obviously we'll answer them questions live tomorrow. So 6:30, if you're available, guys, in your diaries, and if you want to watch me and Paul talk a load of crap about West Ham and probably talking about how we've been massacred 5-0 and looking ahead to Brighton, please join in. Just another couple of questions here. Any news on Ross Barkley yet? It seems to be picking up pace. I've got to say, it seems to be picking up a bit of pace. X obviously said, if you haven't watched or listened to his podcast, he said that maybe between him and Giroud, who will come to the club. Obviously, personally, I want Ross Barkley. If If it is a case, you know, we can't get Ross Barkley, but Giroud comes in, so be it. If Ross Barkley comes in the West Ham, listen, he goes straight in. And I think that's the most important thing, is we need players that can go straight into that first 11, not players that are coming to fill the squad. We need first team players. And Ross Barkley, you know, when he first broke onto the scene, obviously I got a little bit, you know, over the top, as I do, you know, when English players come through, he's like, this geezer's the new Gascoigne. Like the way when he first burst in, he carried the ball like Gascoigne, had a very similar build to Paul Gascoigne. Likes to goal from long range. He's obviously he's not in Paul Gascoigne's league, but Gazzo wasn't, you know, from Gravy, the best English player ever, and another Geordie for Alfie. Yeah, he would be immense for us if he was to join us. And I believe he'd become a hero quite quickly. Cheers, Luke. Enjoy your evening and the game. Yeah, I hope you all enjoy the game. If you are on your way to the game, you know, stay safe, enjoy yourself, have a good drink, and hopefully, you know, boys make us proud. Even if we lose tonight, you know, they make us proud. They put in a good performance. You know, last year we took them close, didn't we? And it was a bit of a dodge goal last year. Cost us. Look forward to Brighton, where we'll only get smashed 3-0. Yeah, they're no mugs. We're going to look into that game tomorrow, Chris. So talk about that more tomorrow. Finally seem worried we're going down. I think we are in real trouble with this lot if we do. Yeah, we are. We are in massive trouble if we go down. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Be back tomorrow, 6:30. Like I said, I don't want to repeat everything I've just said. Until then, guys, on your minds, let's do this. Let's do these scousers. Let's go.